Traverse China. That is our company. It has now been narrowed down to Amber and I, slowly but surely. So we would like to take you into the wonderful country of China. There we go. Okay. So just a little brief picture of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be literally going from one end of China to the other in 10 days. It may seem a little difficult, but it is possible, and it is phenomenal to experience everything from the city life of China to being way up in the Himalayas. So we're going to leave DIA. We'll spend some time in Hong Kong, and then we'll get over to Kunming, which is about dead center in China, a little south, and then we're going to take a train, an 8-hour night train up through, up into the Himalayas, and land right about in a city called Lijiang, and that is on the border of Tibet and Myanmar, but that's still within the China, in the Yunnan province.
So what you need to bring on this trip is you need to bring warm clothes, cameras, iPods, or cell phones. You need to bring a passport, travel visa, driver's license, and emergency contact. Also, you need to bring your own tissues because they do not provide that for you. You need to bring spending money, vitamins, medication, and you could bring a Chinese phrasebook if you like.
Just a little bit of highlighting. Yes, tissues, big thing you need to make sure you bring. We will not be providing any as a travel company, but make sure you head on over to Target or Walmart and pick up just a pack of a couple different packs of the to-go Kleenexes, because China's bathrooms do not contain toilet paper, or they make you pay ridiculous amounts for them at the door going in. So bring your own, and then the bathroom situations are also very fun and enjoyable. Alright, so just to give you a little brief about the culture of China. They've got some crazy foods, as many of you have probably heard. They eat everything. You'll be walking along the market and you'll turn around and you'll see these guys having all sorts of bugs, and it's cool, not that you have to eat it at all. It's just a cool thing that they've got just rows in these markets of just foods that you're like, there's no way. At one point, they've got this one guy with a big sugarcane grinder, and he's dropping sugarcane straight into a grinder and holding a cup underneath it and selling the cups for a couple cents of just fresh cane juice, which is incredible tasting. Lamien is something, one of their main dishes. It's basically like ramen, but it's very long strands of noodles. Pretty delicious. They have lots of rice as well, and I say adventurous meats because while you're out there, from personal experience, you will try, if you desire to, if you're the adventure one, you would be able to try anything from camel to ostrich to even trying dog, if that's on your bucket list. But you don't have to, you don't want to. Also, we ask that you take some time and figure out how to learn chopsticks. We'll have a class, if you'd like, and we'll teach you how to use chopsticks before we head over, because they really don't ever provide forks or spoons or knives with your meal. Knives sometimes will cut your food, but chopsticks are what you will be using for your food. And it's pretty simple after the first day or so, at least for most people. You can pick it up pretty easy. take your time at Panda Express and practice a little bit before you head on. Shopping. Hong Kong, we're going to do a lot of shopping in Hong Kong for the most part. They're known for their fake items. I actually brought in a fake t-shirt from Hong Kong. This is an Inter Milan jersey, football jersey, and they, although this looks real and feels real and like silk and all that cool stuff, it's completely fake. I got it for $2. And then there's a store next to the real one, or next to the fake store that's selling it for $200 each. Hong Kong is known for its fake stuff, so you can go for it and buy the fake stuff. As far as we know, there are not any legal matters that concern with that because it's China and they're not really that concerned about fake looking stuff. You can see stuff that looks almost identical to the real stuff, and you can also see a hat that looks nothing like the one it's trying to imitate. My buddy bought a New Era hat, if you're familiar with that brand, that said New Cap instead of New Era, and the logo was skewed and everything just looked terrible. But then they have everything from Coach to Louis Vuitton and everything else. So shopping is going to be a big deal. And then they do have like kind of like a rodeo drive out there, as we would in Cali here, where you'd be able to do a lot of shopping for some really expensive clothing and whatnot. And then for languages, most of the time we'll be speaking Mandarin, or the places we'll be in will be Mandarin Chinese, and that's known as like simplified Chinese. And then in Hong Kong they speak Cantonese, which is not as much spoken in China. That's more like Singapore, and it's difficult because when you speak, they don't understand each other at all, even though the written language is the exact same, and the words mean the exact same. So the only way those two languages can communicate is writing back and forth. So.
So on our first day, we're going to go to Hong Kong. Mostly you're just going to be shopping. There's an 8-story mall. There's a market and a lot of variety of foods. There's a lot of mixtures of Asian cultures. We could ride on one of the top 10 best ferries, use the famously known metro train, and there's a lot of sightseeing.
So just to give a little more insight. So just a little more in depth on Hong Kong. It is a mix of Asian cultures. As you can see down here, we put that it is Asia's gateway. Hong Kong is known as that because it's one of the places that you can come into without having a long-term visa, which is nice. And so it's a gateway into Asia because you can come in there, shoot up to South Korea, Vietnam, anywhere else you're looking for. And then one of the top 10 best ferries, it's a ferry that goes between Hong Kong Island and the mainland of China. And so it has been labeled the best, one of the top 10 best ferry rides in the world. And so we're going to be taking that at night, which is the best time to take it because you can see all the lights around you. During the day it's not the best sight, so we'll be able to do that. And we'll also ride the metro train, which is based off of the Tube, which is in England, because Hong Kong was founded by England, so we're going to be riding a train that is, the system's based almost identical to the Tube.
Another thing that we will be seeing in Hong Kong is the Noah's Ark. It's just like Disney style theme. On the outside there's fake animals, but on the inside there's real animals. While we're here, we're going to be eating, and
so there are also several different floors on this boat. It has at least 5 floors with different themes and whatnot on the floor. So the first floor you start out at, it goes with the historical concept of what Noah's Ark is, where it comes from biblically, and it's just kind of interesting to see what that looks like. And then they also have a whole floor designated to like conspiracy about Noah's Ark, about like where it is on Mount Ararat in Turkey. And so it's a really cool thing. They also have a bunch of animals inside, not big animals, but a lot of interesting smaller animals that can be kept. And yeah.
the next city It's one of the biggest cities in China. It's also known for its famous tea. There's many mountain tribes. There is a bicycle way, a common way to get around, and there is also a cultural center.
Yeah, so I'll give you a little fun fact about this. As we were researching it, and I remembered from personal experience, all of the tree trunks are painted white. And this catches a lot of people off guard. It's a very interesting concept that these, and it's like a glowing white, like our streets are painted. And every single tree trunk near all the roads are painted like that. They do that for traffic precautions. So as you'll be seeing these white tree trunks, it's kind of just an interesting sight that not many places in the world have white tree trunks, but they literally take the time to paint every single one of them with this neon white color so that the cars know to avoid them. So because the driving in China is ridiculous.
Also, while we're in Kunming, we're going to be going to the stone forest. It existed since the 1368 through the 1644. There's hundreds of limestone rocks instead of trees, and it's named rocks for the teeth of the dragon monkey on the elephant back.
Yeah, they've named a bunch of the different rock statues. It's a pretty interesting sight. It's just a giant forest that instead of trees, it's rocks. And they slowly begin to unearth this a couple hundred years ago. And it's kind of just an interesting phenomenon where the dirt has dropped and there are all these rocks, and it's like a big forest. There are also a bunch of caves as well. Alright, so I'm going to take it away with Lijiang. This is a small city up in the Himalayas. It's on the border, as you can see. There are the Himalayas, and in this picture right here you can see Jinjiang Snow Mountain, or known as Yulong Mountain. That is the first foothill of the Himalayas, and that is what shadows the city that we will be staying in. An amazing city. It borders Tibet, Myanmar. We're going to be taking the 8-hour night train. Night train is fun. You should enjoy it. It will be a good deal. Depending on preference, we will be taking it during the night and during the day. Some of you may prefer to take it during the day because sleeping on a triple bunk that's built for people who are way smaller than us is not ideal. So we may take the day train as well. Dongba is not a practice religion, but it is a culture that they focus, and which involves a shaman and like the passing of religions through scrolls, and it's actually one of the only 3 written hieroglyphic languages left in the world, where they draw pictures like in hieroglyphs, and you can understand what that means by looking at them. It's one of the 3 left. This city is also a huge Chinese tourist hotspot. You won't see many Westerners there at all. It is very special that we will be going into this city because it's the pride and joy of China, and it's a secret of China as well. Not many Westerners know about this city because it's kind of where the Chinese will go on their vacation if they're wanting to stay within the borders. Give you a little bit of history about the city. You can see like the old roofs right there. There's Old Town and then there's New Town. Old Town is directly in the center. In 1980, there was an earthquake that dropped the whole New Town, and the only thing that was left standing was actually the Old Town, which was surprising because it was built in the Ming Dynasty a long time ago. And so the Chinese government decided to pour a bunch of money into it and continue to keep the old city as structured as possible and turn it into a tourist hotspot. And then they built the new city up around it again. So it's kind of a natural phenomenon that the old city stayed when the whole new city with all the new technology crushed. So I'll start this off a little bit. The Black Dragon Pool is at the foot of Elephant Hill. On the right you can see a mountain bordering that. It's a little hill, no more than probably about 2,000 feet high. Anyways, it's a fun little hike because you get a chance to see the entire city. Once you get up on top, you can see everything that goes on in the city because there actually is a peak, and there's a hut that you can stand in and turn 180 degrees and see everything from the Himalayas to the city, and then you see the train tracks going off into the mountains. And it's an incredible spot. And at the foot of that mountain is the Jade Dragon, or is the Black Dragon Pool, which is known for its famous five black arched pool, um, the bridge, and so it's a pretty beautiful sight. You're going to want to make sure you bring your cameras for that. Also, there's a little notice for the tourism protection fee. That's not protection of the tourists, it's actually the protection of nature. What's going on is they have everyone pay 80 RMB, which is a little over $10, to just, if you're going to go and tour these nature and wildlife kind of things, everyone just pays just this little due, the dues that really help keep the wildlife going.
So basically this is our cost breakdown, and as you can see, the total of each day is on the bottom, and it's roughly about $1,545. That's on day 9, sorry.
Yeah. Alright, so on the next slide, you'll be able to see our